What is going on, Clippers fans? Welcome. Keeping it chill to start. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 66 of Clips and Dip. I am Chuck Mockler, joined by Adam Ozen and William Updike. We're finally all three decompressing about the Clippers season as a whole. We're going to give some player grades, some coach grades, and some of the talk about the Lawrence Frank presser. There's two pretty big pressing questions for the Clippers. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for watching all the lives that we did over at youtube.com/@ClippersPodcast. Some of those were very fun, and 4 of them were not as fun because of how the team played. Before we get into the season as a whole, Adam, Will, wonderful to all be together. Has the taste of Game 7 left us? How are you still? Are we past it? Will, you're shaking your head?
No, I mean, it's only natural to overreact. I just don't feel like this particular Game 7 would be an overreaction, and it sucks because you went up against a really good team. It would be understandable to lose in 7, just not the way that they did kind of taints the entirety of what they achieved this season for me. And I know that that's not, there's a lot leading up to those 4 games, right? There's 82 other ones. But I think in the biggest of moments, the way that you show up shows a lot about the identity of the team. And I think that is that's really a bummer, especially given like how good I felt about this team for that ending like 9-game stretch.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest, no, it's not gone, and it completely changed my ideas and thoughts on this season.
It's the competitor mindset. Adam, you were grimacing as I brought up Game 7. Still hurts.
Yeah, I think Will's harsh but fair. I think this is how the sour taste is going to be left in our mouths all summer long. It's the never-ending warhead instead of gobstopper. It's sour. It's really frustrating because they were so uncompetitive in that game. It was just by the first 2 minutes of the third quarter, it was over. And Kawhi hits a 3. It's an 8-point game to start the third, and they go on a 17-0 run. How does that happen? How do you let go of the rope like that in a series that was so close and back and forth? And I'm not over it yet. It's going to take some time.
It was disgusting. It was a really gross game of basketball. And watching the Nuggets get blown out the other day, it just the vibe, like what you said about how they kind of showed up and started the game, the Clippers. You were like, oh, this doesn't feel good. Like, oh no, like we're not locked in at all. Like this is the fans, they flew the fans out, which was a very great move by Ballmer. But like, yeah, that to show up or not show up the way that they did.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. Even Lawrence Frank said it. I thought it was a pretty candid moment from a GM to be like, yeah, that was embarrassing. Like that was indicative.
You should be embarrassed.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one thing if, it's 2019 and you lose Game 6 badly to that Golden State Warriors team after you had won 2 games in that series and you didn't feel like you ever really had a chance to win that series going in. It's bad when you get blown out at home by Phoenix in that Game 6 in 2021, but that Clippers team fought and gave all they had, and they didn't have Kawhi, and eventually they broke. They had everybody healthy. They just won Game 6 in impressive fashion with great performances from Kawhi and James Harden, and then a complete dud of a game in Game 7 outside the first quarter.
And on Will's birthday, yet again.
Even worse.
The Clippers disappoint Will on his birthday. Something that has happened before and might happen again.
I think it's the new tradition. They're just going to lose in the first round on my birthday until
we get those picks back.
Yeah, until what, 2031? 2030?
I think 2030. We're right there.
We're good. It's 2030.
We're right. We're knocking on the door. So holistically, we're kind of doing a postmortem here for some marketing talk. How will this season be remembered in 3 to 5 years for the Clippers? So just some team stats for everybody.
Not as fondly as 18-19. I'll tell you that right now.
Hey, you got that right. The Clippers were 14th in offensive rating, 3rd in defensive rating, 5th in net, 20th in points per game, 7th in 3-point percentage, but 29th in attempts, 22nd in turnovers per game. They won 8 in a row to avoid the play-in, and then got beat in 7 games, the 7th game being the most gruesome, by the Nuggets. Holistically, taking everything into account, I like what Will said, not as fondly as 18-19. I think the loss was so bad in Game 7 it overshadows what was a overachieving regular season.
It went from like an overachieving regular season, like the bad news bears, lovable losers, to just straight up losers. Losers. Take the lovable out of it. The lovable's out of the equation for me.
L for love. Yeah. Adam?
I don't know. The 21-22 season comes to mind a little bit because they didn't even make the playoffs, and they had a lot of fight, but then they lost the 2 play-in games, and the second one they're up by 13. I know they didn't have Paul George. I think both of them, they had double-digit leads. That was frustrating after a really good season to not get into the playoffs. They lose technically in the postseason in the play-in, but this was a real missed opportunity for a group that had, I think, some high potential to make a little run, to make it interesting. And yeah, it's hard to reconcile or just marry the two things. You have a great regular season. You win 15 more games than some people thought they were going to win.
Yeah.
And those same people, though, were let down by thinking they're going to win this series now, right? And they're going to get some revenge for 2020, right? And Kawhi's healthy, and we're good. And we're the healthier team, and we have so many
Even
things in our
losing,
favor.
it's not just losing. Like I that's just the thing I'm coming back to, man. Like it would be fine to lose a close Game 7. This was a really close series. Yes, we were the healthier team. They have, the best player in the world right now. It's just like it would be fine. Like it would be a totally different scenario to get like yet another like James Harden no show. Just the way they got beat is just, come on, man. Like what? Like it feels like we're just not even fucking close to anything right now. In terms of like actual like postseason contention. Not the it was our year. We pissed it away, but it was our year.
Is that the title of this video?
We pissed it away. That was our year. The first round exit, the way they left the first round too, because not to look too far ahead in some of our programming schedules, this is effectively the same core next. This is what we're getting next year too.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially exactly what Lawrence Frank said. Like we're running it back. There's not a lot of other options.
Yes, and for good reason. There's no other options for
the best you can do is like minimize the amount of years you keep James. Is have it line up with the Kawhi years and not any longer than that.
We'll see what James wants.
What about James?
I really felt like they beat themselves in so many ways in this series too. It didn't need to go 7. The reason I had Clips in 6 is because I didn't feel good about going there in a Game 7. I didn't know it would turn out this poorly.
Right.
We did bring up before Game 7, it's going to go one of 3 ways. The Clips win close, Denver wins close, or Denver wins in a blowout. Clippers winning in a blowout was not on the table.
No.
Clearly. So Game 1 and Game 4. And Game 4 is the one where it's just – when you talk about identity and just coming out flat for a playoff game after how well they played down the end of the regular season, down the stretch of games, winning 8 straight, winning, I think, 18 of their last 21, fighting like hell up in Golden State and winning that game to stay out of the play-in. How do you not have more intensity and urgency to start Game 4, to get down by 22, just to mount a comeback and then lose on a miraculous air ball from Jokic to Gordon? That's the game. That's the one that just kills me. It's like you had to go up 3-1. I remember texting Carlo. I was like, got to get both. Got to get both these games at Into a Dome. You want to win this series, you got to go up 3-1 on them. That's the way. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, we're up 3-1 again on them. I don't care. Then you have a chance to close that at home in Game 6. That's what really bothered me.
Yeah, not chasing Game 1. Both teams, like the first 2 games, I think both teams felt like they should have won the game that they lost. right? Like game 1, it was like felt like the Clippers should have won this one. Game 2, you're like, how the hell? Okay, we'll take it. Like make up for game 1. Game 4, they're the number 1 team in defensive rebound percentage all year, the Clippers, which is something we all wanted them to work on in the preseason, which they did. But then the lineup that was out there, the lackadaisical, like there's so many photos or stills or videos of James Harden just watching someone get a board like over him. It feels like, I'm not putting the whole loss on him, obviously, but he didn't talk to the media for 3 games in this series, which means he had a bad series. I love what he did in the regular season. We're going to talk player grades next segment for the whole season. But there was like, it just
Disgusting.
hurt, man.
They played like a team to me at times that thought they had a larger margin for error in this series than they really did. Oh, look at how Denver had to limp into the playoffs, firing their coach and GM, and they don't have a bench. And how are they going to be able to, beat this team with this depth that is on this roll? I don't know. I really think maybe they underestimated the Nuggets to some degree. It felt like that at times. I don't know how else to explain some of just the sleepwalking efforts to start games.
And like you've mentioned this too, Adam, starting games has been something that's plagued, I would say, because it really didn't help the end of this season. Clippers in this
they were good in the regular season with it, but they weren't good in the series. They came back. The old bad habits came back to haunt them.
Yeah, and the old good habits went away, right? Like all the pick and roll habits we built up in the regular season, that the zoo touches, just unraveled. Is maybe it was the last 8 games, maybe it was gunning so hard they didn't have any gas to avoid the play-in itself. But I don't know,
get
man.
6 days off between start of the series. I don't know. I think they clearly weren't. I came into the series and I did say I don't care that their defense says 21st. I don't believe Denver is that bad defensively when they actually care. I never bought into that.
And they were number 1 in like points off turn. Like they were number 1 in 2. I think it was points off turnovers and fast break points or something, where it was like that kind of defense, even if it is ranked 21st, is the kryptonite for a team like the Clippers who turns the ball over.
They're an average to above average defensive team.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it.
Aaron Gordon was maybe the best player in the series, and at a position where the Clippers are deficient in, that led to a lot of those offensive rebounds. His defense, I said 2 years ago, I think he's the best defender on Kawhi, and he showed it at times. Outside game 2, he was very solid against him, and he made Kawhi work on the other end when he had to defend him. I think that when we get into this offseason, that's going to become a much bigger conversation now about the power forward stuff, but they exposed some weaknesses for sure.
Did you see the law list of what he thinks the priorities are for the Clippers of the 5 positions? Where do you think power forward is on the list?
Did he put it last?
It's 4th.
It's at the 4.
You know what? Maybe he is thinking. Okay, before we get into whole season grades for the players and the coaching staff, on the whole, would you consider this? The balloons are here. Would you consider this
year?
Yeah. Would you consider this season a success?
Regular season was a success. Yeah, I'd put that. Playoffs, complete and the entirety of the season. Like if you're including postseason, no.
Yeah. The Giannis question.
I'll say yes, reluctantly.
Lowercase yes.
Yeah, it's okay. I said 6 through 10 they'd finish in the West, and they gave us so many memorable moments during the regular season. The majority of the season takes place in the regular season, as bad as the ending is, and that's when you need to be at your best. I got to go with the 5 months that led up to it and put that a little bit higher and say, yeah, it was a success. And it will feel better, I think, as time goes on and we get further away from this playoff series.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the ... Sure. Is my answer right now. As of May 8th, 6:58 p.m.
My concern is that Game 7 said a lot more about this team and what it's going to look like next year than the other 82 games.
I do think that this season will be better than next. This season will be looked at fondly, I think, compared to next season.
Compared to next season, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like putting a bunch of carts before a bunch of horses. I think I think this year, regular season wise, we overpunched, which is good. That's what you want to do. You want to play better than you're supposed to be. But I don't know if we get another norm year like that. We'll get into all that later. All right, let us know if you think the regular season was a success or the whole season was a success, either at Clippers Pod or at Clippers Podcast on YouTube. Please don't ask us about free agency yet. We're going to get into that at some point. The list is not pretty for who the Clippers can afford, so you don't want to see it either. We're going to be talking whole season grades after a quick audio break. If you want to avoid these, you can watch us on YouTube. We got ads and then whole season grades coming up in 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back into Clips and Dip. We are doing a bit of a Clippers sort of season post-mortem over here. We're talking the whole season grades. We'll just kick things off with the starters. I'd like to start with a guy that I think we're all going to be in agreement on, and I think is sort of unimpeachable really through this entire thing. I'm going to go with Ivica Zubac, and I'm going Big A. I know that Adam is going to. Adam's going to disagree with this one. I know that he's going to disagree pretty harshly. But
you're right. A+.
Hell yeah, I knew it was coming. So also, we did the whole season because I think for the regular season, because of how well this team played in the regular season, you'd probably give everyone on the roster an A.
Just the way they overachieved, it would be pretty difficult not to.
Not to be a dip, right? Like I mean that respectfully. Like everyone played pretty damn good.
It's not very interesting if we just go regular season.
Yeah. I'd go A for Zoo as well. He took the leap. He did everything. He played so well, Carl Tart bought his jersey.
The biggest Zoo hater.
Hopefully he remains on the team if you know about the Carl Tart curse. He excelled. He was great in the short roll with passing. He played great defense. He played really good defense on Jokic, as Adam mentioned on Twitter. He did everything that everyone who loves Zoo knew that he could do and who didn't like Zoo wanted him to do. Right? Like, he's double-double monster. Hard to not give him an A. I don't think anyone would give him lower than an A.
Even though he wasn't great also in Game 7, he still gets an A+ for me on the year. It was tremendous. He can be All-NBA third team. He's definitely going to be making all defensive team. Him being on the conversation for defensive player of the year is awesome. It was this was his year. I might look back on this year and think about Big Zoo's year.
That's a good call. Yeah, that definitely is a positive takeaway. And he still did have the second lowest plus minus of any starter in Game 7. It was him and Derek Jones Jr. Still in the negative there, but not as much as some other folks.
Yeah, not as much as some other folks. All right, Will, who are we grading next?
Next.
Putting the fire to
Let's go Dunn. Let's go Chris Dunn. Who I feel like is an interesting one. Had some ups and downs. I think, that there are times where his defensive impact was undeniable. Unfortunately, some of the struggles on the other end really sort of reared their ugly head in the playoffs. Although I do feel like we saw him grow throughout the season, or at least get to where he's been at other points in his career as a ball handler. Because I feel like at the trade deadline, we were all sort of like bemoaning the fall off in ball handling, especially when Norm was out for that period of time. And I do feel like Dunn was able to rise to the challenge. He was able to become much more of like the facilitator and playmaker that I kind of thought that he was when we acquired him. But Dunn is an interesting one for me because so much of the season, I would say, it's like pretty much goods. as promised.
The best perimeter defender the Clippers have ever had, or damn close to it.
Yeah. Like absolutely, like absolutely elite. It's just so tough though, because it's like it.
He's a specialized tool.
He's a specialized tool, and it's not like, well, I want to say it's not like it was like, oh shit, like this is like wildly exceeding my expectations. But I mean, defensively, like, I mean, the guy's a monster. It was pretty impressive. I gotta go, considering like sort of the totality of everything.
As we often should do.
I'm kind of in B minus C range.
Wow. B minus.
I'm gonna go B minus.
For what it's worth, he shot 33.5% from three on 3 attempts per game.
What, his exact career average or slightly below?
Yeah.
Above.
What's his average? Like 32?
Yeah, 31, I think.
Okay. A couple percent.
So that's why he's getting a B minus instead of a C.
I was gonna go B plus. Just because of the defense was so good. Even in the playoffs, him fighting off that, him fronting Joker for that 10-second, like that is just like the epitome of what this team in the regular season was built on, which was crazy good defense and not giving up on that end of the floor.
Wait, you're going B?
B plus.
B plus.
88.5%.
So you're nearly A on this.
So what?
You're nearly A on this.
Nearly A. It's just the only thing preventing it was just like he is a specialized guy. And in the playoffs, we saw the lever pull from Ty Lue, whatever. But like you said, he was able to be a release valve for Harden. He got a lot better at that than I thought he was going to be. I got to go B.
So just so I'm understanding this curve, Zoo is an A. Chris Dunn is also nearly an A?
Yeah. Well, Zoo's an A+.
Zoo is an A+.
Yeah.
I said A, but I'm at A+.
But I'm going B+. Yeah, Adam, what are you going? Maybe B.
I was thinking A minus for a second, but you're right. I'm giving Zoo the A+. I don't know.
I just don't think they're in the same tier in terms of like expectations to delivery personally.
I mean, it's relative to who he's been in his career, and I do think he exceeded expectations. He became the best perimeter defensive. This is the best perimeter defensive season we've seen. I enjoyed watching him so much.
Yeah.
He was good early on in the series. Unfortunately, he started missing a lot more. He still shot, I guess, 35% in the series from three. He shot, almost 36%. He was 10 to 28.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll go B plus as well. But I was really, really encouraged with his play. I love watching him. He was a difference maker. They're not a top 5 defense without him. That point of attack defense from Chris Dunn was spectacular.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what did. Hold on. I mean, Norm shot 35% in the. Anyway. Yeah, I like the difference maker part. There's also some intangibles of why I'm giving him the B plus range too. It's because he was a leader. He had the G League guys asking him questions. He was a trickle down vibes guy. Him and Batum fill that role of like defense by example.
Okay, you nagged me to a B.
You don't have to. Hey, we're in the teacher's lounge. Okay, who's next on the start?
Yeah, I don't want to hear from his parents later. It's a B. Next up. Let's go Norm.
Oh, this one is tough, dude. He's a huge reason why the Clippers won 50 games. He's an absolute. He had his best year ever, and
this one isn't hard for me.
What are you going?
This is an A for me. This is an A season for Norm.
I was gonna go A minus.
I can see that, but it's a career year. He rose to the challenge. He got hurt.
Needed it is the other part.
He got hurt at the wrong part of the season, which sucks, and he just kind of never really I don't know.
He couldn't bounce back after the All-Star break.
Yeah.
And the playoffs, he was
He got hurt
not,
at the absolute worst time.
and he wasn't incredibly stellar in the playoffs.
I
No,
think that's why I'm going B.
that's fair.
I think the playoffs, because he
You
had
have an A-.
Shot 47%, 35% from three, 16 points per game.
the first 45 games are A++. It
Yeah.
was spectacular. It's not his fault he got hurt. It's not his fault he comes back and now Kawhi is rolling. It's kind of clunky. The fit's difficult. It's not. But the playoff series, I needed more. The Game 7 Norm was really bad, dribbling the ball off his foot at one point. It was rough to watch. And if he's not scoring, he doesn't offer much else. And the defense at times, earlier in the season, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was good at times. God, was it Game 6? He had a possession where he locked up Aaron Gordon. I'm like, why doesn't he do this more? And that's frustrating.
He had fluxes of defense where you'd be like, oh, damn, you sat in the chair. You like really gritted this one out. Way to go. And then it would just flutter away.
He didn't box out at the end of Game 4.
Right. Yeah.
I love Norm.
Absolutely. We love all these
B.
guys. All right, that's fair. Who's next, Will? We got the two big guys next. So which one are we going with?
Let's start with Kawhi, and we'll end this one on Harden.
So Kawhi, 37 games played. Man, this one is tough. Is B- fair?
I'm at B-. I'm probably closer to B- than B.
I think part of me is saying this too because he's a little older. He's lost the explosiveness that once was, obviously. My expectation, I was so excited. The ramp up was so perfect, right? Like they brought him back. The medical team, A+ for the Clippers this year. Everyone shits on the medical team. They did a wonderful job this year with bringing Kawhi back and everything. I got it. Yeah, like B-. Like, but I think maybe that's just because I still want him to be top 5 in the league, and I don't think he is. That's not disrespectful. He's still very high up there, but
no, he wasn't. Not consistently. I don't think he was at that point.
Yeah, Adam, what are you going? It's a tough one to grade, though, right?
It's funny because you mentioned 37 games in the regular season, and 22 or 23 of those, he was really at an all-NBA level.
Yeah.
And peaking. And he comes into the playoff series.
Which is like a step back from last year.
Somewhat. I in terms of number of total games played at that level, like I thought he was pretty close near the end of the season to about where he was last year at his best, honestly. Like he was awesome in the game against Golden State.
Yeah.
But it's the playoff series, and it's not that he was bad. Like I think he might have led both teams in scoring still. He shot 54% from the field, 41% from the outside, 25 points a game. Like it's not
cared
bad.
in Game 7. He showed he at least tried to set the tone, right? Like he was getting doubled. Like
I saw him moving fast at down by 20. He was still rotating, and I think I'll go B. Because I just needed a little bit more in the playoffs. I needed one more game 2 from him, and that probably would have been enough to win the series, maybe.
Yeah.
In the rhetoric, kind of after Game 1 of like he's got to be in attack mode, it was kind of like, yeah, man, you should be in attack mode. Like we would prefer that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good series. It wasn't a great series.
Exactly.
It's about Kawhi's standard that he set. So I'll go B though overall for the season.
Yeah. All right. Now maybe the hardest guy to grade in terms of duality between regular season and postseason, James Harden. And maybe this isn't a hot take, but I'm going C because it was what seems to be an average James Harden season, which is the regular season. You go, holy shit, this guy is leading the team. He's putting his body on the line. Second night of the back-to-back, I'll put up 50 during, which that game also did turn the Clippers season around. That game against Detroit was huge. And then the playoffs were just so incredibly frustrating. Doesn't talk to the media for those 3 games. C+, B, maybe I'm being too harsh, but he was so good in the regular season. Again, I cannot stress that enough. And I changed. I wasn't a James Harden hater, but I did really come to appreciate and respect what he does for a team. The young guy stuff, preseason stuff, like,
Yeah,
I still have the bad taste in my mouth.
I think thinking about relative who he is, which is a Hall of Famer, which is like one of the greatest scorers of his generation, which is so many like elite things. To me, this is a C season because it was basically status quo. I mean, which again for him, a really good standard to set for a lot of the time. I'm not saying that. Like, I'm not saying that he's bad, but like it was just more of the same in the playoffs. And then the way he chose to address it, like it just doesn't even feel like there's any self-awareness or attempt to try and improve some of these things. And I think that is like, to me, that's really troubling. So it just feels like more of the same. And he could have another great regular season next year, and I wouldn't expect anything different in the playoffs than what we got this year and what we've seen. What's the stat of like the 5 greatest like players of this generation, like LeBron, Steph, whatever? He's the only guy to have more than like 5 games with less than 4 field goal attempts, and he has like 30.
Yeah, that's not a good stat. Adam, this is the toughest one to grade.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B because yes, it's a similar regular season to things he's done in the past. He's also 35 though now, and
Yeah.
that's going to heavily weigh into my decision here. Even though Game 7 was bad, I'd say he had 4 good games in this series. Like Game 1 would have been his game. If they win Game 1, that's on him. Like he was killing it.
Yeah.
But Game 7, yeah, I agree with Will. It's on him at this point to flip the narrative. Like, and I don't know this late into his career if he can do it. But these elimination games, they just haven't been good enough. But Game 6 was great. And that was an elimination game. I mean, technically not a Game 7, but yeah, it's rough. B to B minus, somewhere in there.
Yeah, we're gonna see it again next year. Just this core, just you know what I mean. So,
and again, I do want to stress, like he was incredible at points during the regular season. Like I'm not taking away anything from that. He really, I mean, he's a huge part of the reason this team was able.
Zoo doesn't have the season he has without James Harden.
Yeah, and it's tough. Like I am definitely grading him on a harder curve because of like what's expected of
as
him
we should,
and like like and what he's done and who he is. So for a lot of other players, this would definitely, even playoffs and playoffs included, this would probably be an A season. But because of like who he is and what he's done, to me, this is a C season for him overall.
Yeah. Kawhi and Harden are on a much different curve than anybody else for what this team is. Now to the bench. Who do we start with here? Because we're doing with guys who finished the year on the Clippers. Do we go Derek Jones Jr. because he was a starter?
No KPJ in here, huh?
No KPJ. I don't think. What's after A? They have new grades, how kids can get like 6.0s in high school now. Don't even get me started on that. Derek Jones Jr., season grade. If you need a refresher on his stats.
I'd go B plus.
Yeah.
That's about where I'm at. Yeah.
He had a
100%.
career year shooting wise for the regular season.
Great defense, obviously. Like
electric.
Gave us the legs, gave us the dunks. Like,
yeah. Some of the best highlights from this season are from DJ.
That one, the putback he caught, it was like all the way back here. Can't remember what game. That was phenomenal. Okay, yeah, pretty firmly B plus. Overplayed his contract. $10 million a year for Derek Jones Jr. is crazy.
He might be an A tier for me. Low A.
A minus. 91. um,
90.
Bogey. Bogdan Bogdanovic. Whole season considered. Short for him, for the Clippers. 30 games for the Clips. 25 minutes per game. Did get off to a rough start and then proceeded to shoot 43% from three for the Clippers.
I'll probably go B minus.
Yeah.
If he played better in the playoffs, he was inconsistent. His playoff start was kind of like the start with the Clippers. He started slow. He didn't make a shot the first couple of games.
Yeah.
B minus, C plus, somewhere in there.
I think I would go B, but only for all the reasons you just said. I'm only bumping him up because he made the shot to give Zoo his triple-double.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, when you give a teacher like, "Hey, got you like an apple or whatever," like he gets a B because he helped Zoo, which he almost missed. So, but yeah, start of the playoffs was rough. He couldn't defend LeBron. You know, what the hell's the deal with that?
What do you think we brought you here for?
We brought you to stop LeBron. Will, what are you going? B?
Yeah, I'm in that I'm in that mid B, I think, range. He did exceed expectations for me, which were lowered by the start of his tenure and just this season in general. That he had.
rope-a-doped a lot of Clippers.
But yeah, I would say he slightly exceeded expectations. So I'm gonna go B to B minus.
Right. Nick Batum.
A.
How
is he still doing this?
He never plays bad.
How is he still doing this?
I'm gonna go A minus, only because I could have used more of him at times in this series.
Yeah,
and in the regular season.
And in the regular
they saved
season.
him in the regular season for this series, and then we don't know how many minutes he can play. They didn't say that, but some people were wondering, like, well, how many minutes can you play him? It's like, well, why don't we find out since it's the playoffs now? Let's see how far we can push this thing.
Also, didn't have like a stellar game 7, but
was he 17 minutes a game in the regular season? Something like that.
Yeah,
sounds right.
That's low for what the Clippers need. Ben Simmons. See? He was hurt. His best game was maybe his first game for the Clippers.
The injury really does mess with it. This is a C minus for me. C minus to. It's still passing, I guess, but like barely.
The first 2 games of the series, he was good.
He did have some really good moments.
Very limited time, but he was good.
Yeah,
more than serviceable. But yeah, C minus. I think he didn't play enough. The injury hurt him, and his best game was that first game against Utah.
Yeah.
I forgot that. It was against Utah. So it's like,
and just still
okay.
Yeah, just still some of the same.
Some passivity. Ty Lue talked about it.
Just like the exact same issues, and like this was a team that was asking him to do like considerably less. Maybe a little bit more when he first started in the lineup, just given sort of like
the ball handling stuff.
They wanted him to do some more ball handling. But like other than that, I just feel like he wasn't in a position where he was really stretched as a player at all or asked to do anything that would be
crazy,
like difficult for him. And I still feel like he kind of underwhelmed me in a lot of those areas. So I would say, yeah, it's a C minus for me because again, if it was if we had him over a longer span, I don't know that this would be a passing grade if the status quo stayed the same. But like, I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt, and he's getting the C minus for what we saw.
Okay. Amir Coffey, someone who a lot of fans thought that would have turned the tide of the playoff series. One guy said he stopped listening to our channel because I said that Amir Coffey probably won't play in this series, and for good reason.
You're a fool.
I'm an idiot.
He'll never hear this. That guy sucks.
Yeah, man.
I hope you got muted. I hope you got hidden from the channel on YouTube, so you're screaming into the void. If you do see this.
I hide everybody. No one's getting blocked, but you are screaming at nobody if you're screaming on this channel. What are you guys going? This is a weird one. C, maybe C minus. He was really bad defensively to end the year. He played in more games than I had remembered.
Yeah, I kind of wish that we could take like pre-All-Star break for Amir Coffey because it just felt like such a jam.
24 minutes a game, 10 points, shot.
His shooting splits are good.
Yeah.
Like I think I go B minus.
Yeah, I'm with that. Like B minus to B. It's I mean, I was gonna say it's not his fault he didn't play in the playoffs, but it kind of is.
His defense, again. I love Amir. He's weirdly one of the longest tenured Clippers. But the defense at the end, he was biting on pump fakes. He was fouling shooters. He was doing stuff that this team, if you're an offensive juggernaut, you can have a guy who we actually found the shooter. When you're built on defense and you have whatever the 14th ranked offense, you can't be giving away free buckets. And it felt like he was doing that a little bit at the end of the year. And I don't think he would have made a difference against the Nuggets. I'm sorry.
Probably not. I don't know if he.
And also, it doesn't mean he's bad either. He's a rotational NBA player.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's role players struggle so much in this series. Like I don't know. Amir might have been better than some of these guys in the way they were playing, but
he was just cold too.
Well, he got hurt. It was weird that he didn't play even in garbage time in this series. And I'm pretty sure he's gone this offseason. But I don't know. It would have been interesting to see. But B minus for me.
We'll probably see it next year. Drew Eubanks, the Australian sensation.
D.
Down under.
Yep.
D plus.
Yeah, I don't know, backup center. He's not the worst backup center the Clippers have ever had. So that's something.
Fair enough.
He should put that somewhere. Kobe Brown.
Moses?
Yeah, Moses. Kobe Brown.
D.
Felt like he didn't really take a step. Maybe an incomplete, but like a respectful incomplete. Like you couldn't have gotten this done. I'm really sorry. Got some playoff minutes. Killed it in Game 7. No one's talking about that part of the game.
I'll go C minus. I don't.
It's a weird one to grade.
Yeah, this is an incomplete type thing.
Yeah. Patty Mills.
A.
Aye.
He was great with the content team. He was here to do. He did it.
He did exactly what I thought he was gonna do, man. And it
bring
was
good vibes.
Just bring the vibes.
Bring the vibes. Finally, Jordan Miller.
I'll go C plus. C.
I'm gonna go
C minus.
He's running out of time to show what he can do, and I don't
I think we've seen it.
Part of that's the roster construction. Part of that's the minutes he's been given.
Adam says no.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen it.
It was a big story the first 2 months of the season.
Miller.
We talked about Jordan Miller so much, and he started hot, and then they adjusted, and he's got to adjust back.
Yeah, he's got to adjust back. Next year's grade will be a lot more important. He's got to adjust back. Now we get to the coach. I just want to level set, though. JVG and Brian Shaw were giving A's, right?
Yeah.
Ty Lue.
What does Brian Shaw do?
Interim coach.
I'm just joking.
He goes undefeated. Ty Lue. Holistic season grade. I'm going B minus.
This is heavily weighted on the playoff series.
100%.
Therefore, yeah, it's B minus or C plus.
Regular season, A.
Sure.
A plus.
It's just there was still 60% of your grade was still waiting in the playoffs, and
That's exactly yes. It's like yes, it's exactly what it is. That's how it's weighted on this show.
I was thoroughly disappointed with Coach Lue in this playoff series, and I love Coach Lue, but I expected him to be better.
We
I
should
don't
have
think
had
it was.
a
I don't think it
larger.
was
We should have
awful.
had a larger tactical advantage in this series, which is kind of shocking.
I do start with players when I think about this stuff, but
Totally.
the series was so close that when you don't put in rebounding personnel at the end of game 4, defenders, and you lose that game, and yes, they came back. I don't know how to weigh how much blame should go on Coach Lue for the lack of urgency and how much is it on the players. I don't know how to divvy up that type of blame.
Especially when
Why did
Kawhi
they
had
come
it.
out flat?
In Game 7 specifically, Kawhi had it.
Yeah.
Game 6, they played good. Well, excuse me, because we are grading.
Yeah. Okay, I don't blame the turnovers on him in game 1.
Oh, God, no. I do not blame the turnovers on Ty.
It's because in game 4, so much was demanded strategically, and they came up short there. And yeah, and then not playing. I don't know. I thought after game 4, okay, Batum's going to start game 5. Here we go. He doesn't start till the second half of game 6. So I do think there's some level of the urgency starts up top. It's got to be there, and then it trickles down to the team and the players. I know it's a really tough job, but yeah, I'm going B-.
Well,
yeah, I'm at like B- B range. He is just such a huge part of this team, overexceeding expectations. That's really hard for me to weigh, but I've been super harsh on everybody else through the playoffs. So I'm with Adam though, because the thing I struggle with a lot is like, yes, there are some tactical errors in key moments, but like how much of these games coming as close as they are is really just about execution on the side of the players. And I just don't know, like I know that I know that this is a thing that happens a lot to the Clippers, like sort of regardless of coach. So I don't know, like I don't really know like what to say about that. Like I have no comment on that.
no comment.
But there's a lot that went wrong in that series that I can't put on Ty. So that's why he's not like a C or below to me. But yeah, I'm probably at like a B-.
Go ahead.
If they hit their threes, their wide open threes that they generated through ties and James Harden's offense, like they shot 3% or 3.5% worse from 3 than Denver, that could easily be the difference.
Even some of the defensive schemes, which I know is like JVG as well, but like there were times that we were not executing on stuff that we had done all year long, and I just that's why games get close. That's why you blow games, and that has nothing to do, to me personally, that has nothing to do with the coach. Coach isn't out there.
We ended the season on an 8-game winning streak to avoid the play-in too. Like it's not like we walked into 50 wins this season.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, Coach Lue had a good year, a really good year. It was just that series that left you wanting more. And a lot of this is on the players for sure, because there were so many times where it's like, you got the mismatch. Kawhi, you have Jamal Murray on you now. Go at him. Like, I don't know. It was just a bad series all around.
Yeah, that and the Beverly Hills video. I know that's weighing on Will's grade.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
I never saw it.
He's just like walking around. Some guys like, what are you doing, man? He's like, we're good. What's up? All right. Let us know your player grades at Clippers Pod on Twitter, at Clippers Podcast on YouTube. I know that no one will agree with anything that we said. I promise you we didn't mean to personally offend you with our grades. That's all I can say.
You guys can grade us too. Grade R grades.
Yeah, grade R grades.
Yeah, rate your professor over here.
Yeah. Who's getting the most chili peppers? All right, coming up, quick, just Lawrence Frank presser talk, and then we will send all of you on your way. Audio break with some ads coming up in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back in. It's Clips and Dip, episode 66 of season 3. I'm Adam Moslem. We got Chuck Mockler and Will Updike here as we work through the start of the offseason now. And it really starts when you get that exit interview from Lawrence Frank, the postseason presser from him. And he commented about he was hoping to push this back longer and didn't expect to be doing it right now. Hey, Coach Lou thought, they'd be taking on OKC. Unfortunately, it's not the case. We heard from L. Frank on Monday a couple of different pressing matters, I guess. When it comes to this offseason, the first, we got time, so I don't know how pressing they are. But the one thing that came to mind immediately after the season was over, because I think it's kind of been underreported throughout this year, is like, guys, if James Harden opts out and leaves, like they're going to have $35 million to play with. Now, is that unlikely? Probably, but it could happen. I don't know. He didn't talk to the media the last 3 games they lost in this series, which was rough. So L. Frank made it known that his thinking is that he and Kawhi will be back, but he obviously has a contingency plan in place if James Harden doesn't, because he could be a free agent. They could restructure a new deal for 2 years, line him up with Kawhi Leonard, or James Harden can try to go for more money. In that case, I don't think they're going to, take it past 2 years with him as a Clipper. So they're going to have to figure something out. If he really likes LA enough, I think it has to be a 2-year deal. But that's the first, I think, domino to fall that would really change the offseason for the Clippers.
Yeah, I like what Will said earlier, too, of like, match it with Kawhi. I just hope we can match it with Kawhi's years. Everyone, the scuttlebutt has kind of been that he's going to opt out and re-sign with the Clippers. Like that's been most.
I just don't know that the offers are out there otherwise. Like what I mean,
right.
Like if you're Houston, would you offer him an extra year on a lower deal and hope that just live with what it is that he does in the playoffs and be like, well, we need offense of some kind, and if we can get him for the right price, like we'll take it. And it's a little bit of a reunion tour
because he has left money on the table throughout his career too. So
not a lot. We're talking like $150 million, $200 million. It's a lot of money.
And the new apron rules make it weird. We'll get into detail with this later, but I don't know what the Clippers can offer him contract-wise if he does opt out with the new apron rules and stuff.
They're going to stay under under taxpayer.
Any tax, yeah.
I think they could give him like two years, $80 million, something like that. I think
I would be fine with that, I guess.
It's a bump of $5 million per year.
Yeah. We also, as Adam kind of alluded to, desperately need him. No matter what you think of Harden for next year, the books don't open up until the end of next season. We desperately need. If you thought we didn't have a point guard this season,
I guess like sort of our harsh grades aside, but
we need him to be the point guard next year, or this team is maybe a 35-win team.
I mean, if you look at how Game 7 started to unravel, it was the first 2 minutes of the second quarter with James Harden's off the floor. The Clippers' offense has nothing. We've seen that many times. So,
are we retroactively changing his grade?
No, grades are final in my class. I think everything points to him. All the signs are pointing him to opting out and signing. Again, it's the years that's the big thing.
I think he wants to be in LA. I think they obviously want him back. I think he's worth more to the Clippers than he'd be pretty much anywhere else. I just don't know about
like 40 for James anywhere else to me seems kind of like a stretch. Like who has a cap, like the cap space plus is in fringe contender-ish, who like that he would actually be valuable for. Because obviously there's teams with cap space. They're not the teams that are going to sink $40 million into James Harden. And there's not that many teams with cap space to begin with. So I think the demand is kind of –
it's not very high.
It's nullified.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's like if you so let's say Amir is making like $4 million this year. If they let him go,
great deal,
and give James Harden $4 more million per year over the next 2 than he had the last 2 years, like that's how you can do it right there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very workable for them. And as much as people,
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I mean, as much as people are going to go, why are you guys doing this? And he didn't show up in Game 7. A lot of guys didn't show up in Game 7. Of course, he has the track record. They're still paying a lot of that in regular season production. And he was, I think, the MVP this season, the biggest reason they got to 50 games.
Yeah, it's not a quagmire because he is so good during the regular season, but the Clippers are kind of stuck. And I don't mean that in an incredibly negative way, but just where the team is to lose James Harden. Again, no draft pick. We can't tank. If you're a new Clippers fan, a trade happened a couple years ago where we cannot tank. So they've stated like we're not going to put out a shitty team, basically. Like we're not going to tank. Also, when you have quite literally no incentive to do that, you kind of have to re-sign James. And then we will probably be back here in 365 days, but that's a different discussion.
There's not a point guard as good as him in free agency that you could bring in anyone close.
The only move is backwards.
Yeah, there aren't even 2 that can kind of do his production that are younger. No, that stuff doesn't happen. A conversation for another day, but part of the funds they're going to have open up for them over 2026 and 2027 is like, this is great, but you're probably still going to have to make a big trade because the guys that you like, it's rare guys hit free agency anymore that are that good. They let Paul George go, and that was kind of a rare thing. He was also 34 and injury prone, and it was the right move. But as much as I look forward to seeing $70 million in cap room open up in 2026, it's like, this is awesome, but to find that guy, you're probably going to have to trade for him because teams aren't dumb enough to let guys leave for nothing anymore.
Yeah. The other guy,
Paul George gets an A on the season. Just thank you for validating our decision in every single way. I know that the season ultimately ended similarly as to it did when you were here, but it felt a whole lot better, buddy. So A+ to Paul George.
Damn. This is a teacher who just got tenure. Okay. Nick Batum reportedly set to opt into his player option. Great. We also probably need Nick Batum next year if you look at who's on this team. And then last thing, the Norm Powell extension. L. Frank's quote, he's locked in next season for $20 million, then he's unrestricted. I think he lost himself a lot of money in the playoffs, but whatever. L. Frank said, there's nothing better when you have guys who have been in organization and that you can financially take care of, and we also share big picture. This is how we plan on building the team and see if it's a marriage that makes sense. Interested to see what these negotiations look like for Norm Powell. They have time, as Adam said, but I don't know if he will be back after next year, depending on how the contracts line up.
Yeah, I might be surprised if he's with them past next trade deadline.
If you can get a first-round pick. Adam, you and I were talking about this the last time we did a live. If you can get a first-round pick for Norm Powell next year, make that deal. I love Norm. He was untouchable this year because the Clippers needed him. But now
they shopped.
They for sure shopped, yeah. But now, if he has another hot start or something, you know what I mean? Like,
I think
we need it.
He's your best chance to try to get that for trading Norman Powell. Like, people talk about the John Collins thing all the time, but maybe
this is the year.
This is our year to get John Collins.
Yeah, that's what Will was talking about. John Collins and who's the other one? That's all Miles Turner. I saw some people asking Law Murray about getting Miles Turner. We're not going to do that. We can't.
Are you watching the Pacers right now?
Yeah, he's loving his life.
Yeah, and he's like a free agent that's going to get paid a ton of money.
Deservedly so, yeah, but it's like, dude, he's not leaving Indiana. Like,
he's a center too. I don't think he could play next to Zubac. I don't think that would work well.
Yeah, as Murray also said, we need to have a new conversation about what fours do in the NBA. Will, how you feel about Norm? Quick Norm thoughts.
Good.
Tell you what, I hope he starts next season like he did this season.
Yeah. So he's extension eligible essentially. So they could lock him up for another 3 years or test free agency.
The thing is,
I'd offer him 2.
Right.
He's 31.
It's the same thing where you'd want, like, okay, it'd be great to have Norm for 2 more years to line him up with Kawhi and James Harden also. Is he
maybe you'll
offer
him 2 with a player option on the 3rd? So he's got the guaranteed year on next season, and you give him
2 with a player option. Wait, 2 with the player option?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 with a player option would be crazy. Because he would opt into that in a second.
You want to clear your books for 2027. So I just think he rightfully so could get $100 million over like 3 years, and he should do it. I just don't know if the Clippers is the perfect situation for that.
I think
and now you're going past 2027.
Rockets should make some calls again.
Every team. They actually should maybe though. Yeah, the signing Norm to a $100 million contract would give me a headache. That's where the big
not my money
part of that quote.
He should cash in. Like
him and Amir Coffee, different levels of cashing in, cash in.
Yeah. Now, if they could get him on a team cap friendly extension, that's still a tradable extension, like what they did with Terrence Mann, all good.
Yeah.
Then that might make him more valuable in a trade for a team because they know they have him locked up for this many years.
True.
But I would be surprised if he's with them past next trade deadline.
Yeah, cap goes up every year. It's a weird situation. All right.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess a 2-1 or a 1-1 at 30 with the cap going up doesn't
31.
seem as crazy.
Oh, I thought you meant his age. Yeah.
I
mean, 30 is way too big of a bump.
I don't know why he'd do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
This is your time to get like that 4-year deal.
Yeah. And he got hurt. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I don't know.
So I think he got like 490 from Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got one more of those in him. He does.
Yeah, this is his last big contract.
And I love Norm. I hate to see him go, but you got to understand the timeline and where the Clippers are at and where he's at. It's just, I don't know. We've been talking about Norm being traded though for years, and we've been wrong before. So maybe he's going to be a lifelong Clipper.
Right? Yeah, they'll build the statue of him. All right, I think that about wraps it up. Our first full ep of the offseason. We did it. We made it. No dips. We get Grace on the first. Did you bring dips?
No.
Okay.
You know what I did earlier?
What? Did you make a dip?
I went through the Taco Bell drive-thru, right? And I ordered chips and nacho cheese, and I saved like one chip and a little bit of nacho cheese, and I was gonna fake it and be like, "Yeah, guys, I've had my dip the whole time." Like,
I love it.
Even though it's just been sitting there for hours.
Congealed.
Fakes count on this show. Fakes count.
No such thing as a deep fake. We're gonna be back next week at some point to talk the free agent list that everyone no doubt has looked at and gone, okay. As well as what moves the Clippers can actually make. The dip recipes, if you're new to the show, we do dip recipes in the offseason because the people demanded us. They would write us letters and say, clips and dip. I know when there's basketball, it's fine. Where are the dips? We will be making dips and reviewing them during the off season. It's not the whole show. Could be. If you have any dip recipes that you think we should try, tweet them to us at ClippersPod.
Or just put them in the comments on YouTube.
Or put them in the comments with the ingredients. Don't be like, try this. We got some bangers.
Recipes,
we do
secret recipes.
We do healthy dips. Will's bringing the healthy dips. I sometimes stretch the definition of dip, but it's a fun time. People like it.
Salsa is a dip. Hot sauce is not.
Yes, exactly. Will, now that we're talking about dips and giving player grades, where can people express their true feelings?
Look, the real season starts right now, okay? On this show, the off season is
oh god,
it's the piece de resistance. It's what you come here for. So you're gonna want to go ahead and tell your friends, tell yourself, set a little reminder to listen to the show wherever you get your podcast. If you happen to listen over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, go ahead and leave a little rating or review. Helps us out, but the best way to watch this show, to see these delicious dips across your screen, is going to be at youtube.com. That's at Clippers Podcast. But however you listen, however you watch, we appreciate you.
When you meant delicious dips, were you talking about the condiment or us?
Both.
Pretty good. I thought that was pretty good. Okay, Adam. You had to do the hardest. Give something to be positive about last week.
The hell did I say?
I don't know. I actually can't remember anything from last week. I've Men in Blacked myself. One positive thing, Adam, for these Clippers fans.
A lot of teams have been unlucky with injuries in the playoffs, but not us, baby. We'll go into the offseason fully healthy.
Fucking A. I love that. He's absolutely right. All right. We're smiling through the pain. We will be back with accoutrement next week. Have a great rest of your week and the weekend. And as always, let's go Clips.